What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. So it's been a minute since I've been behind the camera. I just moved into my new place, so we'll talk about that later when I post my story time. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into what's been trending this week. All right. So as y'all know, the CEO of United Healthcare has been gunned down in New York City outside a hotel. All right. So a lot of people online has been vindicating the gunman, okay, the shooter has been vindicating him, has been praising him because of insurance companies, because of the insurance companies and their corruption. All right, but we'll get into that later too. So let's go ahead and catch y'all up on everything that's been going on. So as y'all know, CEO Brian Thompson of the United Healthcare was taken out by a masked gunman as he was leaving out of New York Hilton Midtown in Manhattan. Now, after the gunman shot the CEO, he disappeared in the streets of New York, okay, commencing a nationwide hunt after denied, deposed, and defend were found on the bullet casings at the scene of the crime. Speculations occurred that the unidentified gunman could be a disgruntled former worker, or his claim or a relative claim may have been denied. Okay. Now, according to Fox News, Thompson was separated from his wife, Paulette, at the time of his death. And the Minnesota-based firm parent company laid off workers in multiple states in September. Now, as the manhunt continues, police released the latest photos of the suspect in the back of a taxi. And the police also recovered a backpack that they believe is linked to the gunman, okay? Now, inside the backpack was a jacket, Monopoly money, but no weapon, okay? So let's take a look at NBC News and News Nation. I want y'all to take a look at these clips and let's react to this because this is crazy. It's been trending online and it's something that we need to talk about, right? Because that's what we do over here. We talk about what's trending. So let's take a look at NBC News clip.
Crucial new evidence in the manhunt for the suspect in the targeted killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. This backpack, found in Central Park after air and ground searches, police believe is linked to the shooter seen in surveillance video. Two senior law enforcement officials say no gun was found inside. What was found? A jacket and Monopoly money. The NYPD says nothing in their investigation so far suggests the killing was related to Thompson's personal life.
The net is tightening, and we're going to bring this person to justice.
New York City Mayor Eric Adams says details like whether or not police have an ID on the shooter are being closely held.
We don't want to release that now. If you do, you're basically giving a tip to the person we're seeking, and we do not want to give him an upper hand at all.
But there are new details about the suspect. New York City's chief of detectives providing a timeline based on video footage to reporters. The shooter arrived in New York on Sunday, November 24th, and was caught on camera at the Port Authority bus terminal near Times Square. The bus he took originated in Atlanta, though it's not clear when the shooter got on, given that there were several stops on the way to New York. The shooter then took a taxi to the area where the shooting occurred. It was there for about a half hour before heading to a hostel on the Upper West Side, where he possibly provided a fake ID to check in. He checked out of the hostel on Friday, November 29th, but checked back in the next day. While at the hostel, the suspect had two roommates who say he kept his mask on even when eating, lowering it only when taking a bite of food. And according to a senior law enforcement official, in this one moment upon his initial arrival when flirting with a woman who worked at the front desk. The shooter left the hostel at 5:30 a.m. the morning of the shooting. After the shooting, traveling by bike up to Central Park, then by taxi further uptown to a bus terminal where police believe he boarded a bus out of New York City. And from there, the trail goes cold. So he comes up over here and comes in on this part of the Port Authority. That's where the NYPD last sees him. But he could be right up here and over the George Washington Bridge and out of town on a bus pretty easily.
Absolutely, Tom. By going into this Port Authority terminal, there's nothing binding that states he needs to be in there and catch a bus. So he can be over the bridge and in the wind, and we won't know it.
Darren Porcher is a former lieutenant with the NYPD.
You're looking up at a camera, or you're looking over here at a camera on the side of a store. Walk me through the process.
This is a very unique area. We have a lot of hustle and bustle. We have far more cameras in a place like this based on the dense population as well as the commercial properties that are here.
Police are now investigating if the weapon may be a veterinary gun used to put down animals.
This is a very rare weapon. In essence, this is a needle in a haystack, but we have a lot of needles in this one haystack, which works in our favor in law enforcement to apprehend this violent assailant that's on the streets.
Police also clarified the detail about words written on shell casings, saying they were depose, delay, and deny, written in Sharpie, one word on each shell casing, a possible reference to frustration with the health insurance industry.
And Tom joins me now from where that shooting occurred on Wednesday. Tom, the investigation in this case now well beyond New York City.
Oh, that's right, Jose. The NYPD sending its detectives to Georgia, officials say. The Atlanta Police Department says they're going to assist them. Back here in New York City tonight, investigators are out in Central Park looking for more evidence and trying to find that gun. Jose?
Thanks for watching. Release that now. If you do, you're basically giving a tip to the person we're seeking, and we do not want to give him an upper hand at all. Let him continue to believe he can hide behind a mask. We're going to, just as we revealed his face, we're going to reveal who he is, and we're going to bring him to justice.
The investigation already includes a significant amount of physical evidence. The bullet casings with the words deny, defend, depose inscribed, leading to speculation the motive is linked to the insurance industry. Late Friday, an extensive drone and foot search of Central Park located another key piece of evidence, the distinctive gray backpack worn by the killer as he executed United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. The backpack is now at a crime lab for forensic testing, and police have not revealed what was inside, in particular, whether the murder weapon was inside, but the item which made the bag appear full was reportedly the hooded jacket worn by the killer. Meantime, with the reward now at $60,000, hundreds of tips are coming in about the suspect as police continue to search Central Park and pour through hundreds of hours of surveillance.
The manner in which they were able to follow his footsteps to recover evidence. Some of it is known, some of it is unknown, but the net is tightening, and we're going to bring this person to justice.
Now, this bus terminal accommodates multiple lines, including Greyhound, and we have learned that all Greyhound buses are equipped with cameras, so it's likely investigators know where the suspect was headed, as Mayor Adams alluded to. Police and the FBI may be closing in. Natasha?
Yeah, we shall see. Nancy Liu in New York City tonight. Thank you. And let's bring in News Nation national security contributor, former FBI special agent and CIA officer Tracy Walder. Tracy, always good to see you. Thanks for making the time.
Thank you for having me, Natasha.
So we're looking at these details. Authorities now have the burner phone, the water bottle he may have dropped. They are testing for DNA on that backpack. What is standing out to you at this point in the investigation and the manhunt?
So I know people may come for me for this, but I'm actually not convinced that the backpack will yield a whole lot as well as DNA. Part of the issue with that is once they have the DNA, it actually becomes very time consuming to process for a couple reasons. The first issue is that the state of New York, unless you have actually been convicted of a crime, your DNA is not going to be in the system. So that is going to be problematic. They can start doing familial or genealogical DNA, which is how they found Brian Kohberger, but that process can take, 3 weeks to a month as well. And so I'm actually not convinced that DNA is how they are going to catch this individual. I think it's going to be through the video canvassing as well as possibly his phone.
Yeah, it looks like police have deployed a dive team in the fountains in Central Park. What would they be searching for?
I believe if they've deployed a dive team, they are most likely looking for the murder weapon. That would be the most likely place that he would have really tossed that aside, typically because obviously water is difficult to find things in, and it would wipe off any fingerprints. If you noticed in the video that they have of him killing Mr. Thompson, he does not have gloves on. And so this is an individual that, in my opinion, knew he was going to be able to throw away that weapon and not have fingerprints on it.
Let's talk about the level of expertise and planning here. I mean, according to Thompson's wife, the CEO had been getting threats. Does this look like a professional hit job to you, or an amateur with a grudge?
I think both, Natasha. I'm sorry to sound ambiguous about that. I think the first thing is, a lot of people are talking about how this individual is some kind of highly trained assassin and this is what this person did for a living. I don't think that. I think if that was the case, this individual would have hit Mr. Thompson initially. He really wasn't that far from center mass and he missed that first shot. And so that tells me that this is someone that has clearly trained with a weapon, but is not some kind of highly trained assassin. However, to write that on the bullet casings, to be in New York City 10 days before Mr. Thompson was there, to know what hotel he was going to be at, this really did take a high level of planning.
What do you think the motive may have been here?
My gut says it has to do with insurance. So it has to do with a lack of coverage, a lack of providing being done by the insurance company. Maybe someone close to this individual was denied services and was denied life-saving coverage. Maybe this individual was, I don't know. But I do think that it had to do with denial of coverage.
Tracy Walder, appreciate you as always. Thank you so much.
Definitely. For me, it's either two things: denial of coverage, just like what the lady said. Because a lot of insurance companies, they are not paying for these claims. They rejecting them, and if they paying for them, they only paying like a little bit of the claim and leaving majority thousands of dollars to the customer or whatever to pay off. They're really doing that, and not only that, this is deep. I think it's more than one person behind this. I don't think this man came up with all this by himself. I think some people is involved. It's more than one. I really believe that. For him to be there 10 days ahead of the CEO, ahead of Thompson being at the hotel, being there 10 days. Yes, it was planned. I think some other people is behind it. He was also seen on the burner phone. He was talking to somebody else. I really think somebody put a hit out on this man. You know what I'm saying? It goes deep, very deep, and the people are making a statement. They are tired of big corporate taking advantage of them and their pockets. But this also goes deep. I really believe that that this man did not act alone. Somebody close to Mr. Thompson, the CEO, done had connections, done knew everything about what Mr. Thompson had planned that day. After the meeting, coming out of the hotel, the gunman just sitting there waiting on him, knew exactly where he was going to be at, and just waited on him to come out. I mean, it's somebody in that circle, in Mr. Thompson's circle, that was communicating with that gunman. That's my belief, okay? Because ain't no way in the world he knew that. Ain't no way he knew that on his own. I really believe that somebody else is involved, and it's just the rabbit hole going to go a little bit more deep. And I'm just sitting here waiting for more news to come out. This is very interesting. So, you know what I'm saying? Tell me y'all thoughts about it in the comments. Let me know what y'all think. This is very interesting. This is like some movie type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, he really threw the gun in the water, got on the bus, and headed out of New York, was gone. Now authorities right down in Atlanta looking for him. NYPD down there looking for him in Atlanta. Authorities down there. And you know what I'm saying? And of course, the Atlanta police is assisting them in their search, but we'll stay tuned and see if they find this guy. This guy has been on the run for 5 days. Monday will be the 6th day. If they don't catch him Monday, it'd be 6 days. He's been on the run. I think it's going to be a while before they catch this guy. Seems like he knows what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? So let me know in the comments what y'all think. And make sure y'all hit that like, comment, and subscribe. It's been a while since I did this. So hopefully y'all take it a little easy on me. I'm out. Peace. One love, baby.